right, welcome to Tell Me More with Kelly and Craig. Today you're just going to see me, Kelly, and I have the pleasure of being at home with Captain Jason Moore. If you're tired of just coming to Brigantine and sitting in the beach chair and then taking in the views and you want to get out there and explore our back bays, Island Fly is the place to go. All right, Captain Jay.
Hi.
It's great to be here. I love being in your home. It's great. Every corner that you look at, you just screams fly fishing. Do you love being here?
I do. It's very comfortable. It's kind of my zone.
Okay, because I know you travel all over the world with this Island Fly fishing.
Mm-hmm.
So something that most people may not know about you is that you also hold a PhD. Is this correct?
It is correct. I do.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So is this a little bit of a secret or?
No, but most people know me as Captain Jason Moore for fly fishing.
Okay.
The PhD is the other part of my life. I have a PhD in epidemiology and public health. So when it comes to infectious diseases or kind of population-based medicine and medical research, that's the other part of what I do.
So what got you into fly fishing?
Spent a couple of decades in the Colorado high country.
Okay.
And really that was the start of it.
Okay.
There's plenty of streams everywhere. There's great trout fishing everywhere you look. And it was kind of a natural thing. But I held true to where I grew up, which is around here. And so fly fishing,
for those of you that don't know where we are right now, here is Brigantine, New Jersey. So it's been really, really great to see that you kind of bring that Colorado adventure vibe right here to Brigantine in our back bays.
Yeah, saltwater fly fishing is not on everyone's radar, but those that it is. It's super exciting. The fish are bigger, they pull harder. It's not as simple as standing in the river fishing for trout. So it's the toughest way to fish, but it's super fun.
Okay, so Brigantine actually offers a little bit more of a challenge than Colorado waters?
Just different, but yeah, certainly. Saltwater fly fishing overall is more of a challenge.
Okay, what do you prefer?
Saltwater.
Okay, and why is that?
Bigger fish, they pull harder, a little bit more of a challenge. I like moving around, and especially in a place like Brigantine that borders the Forsyth Preserve and the Jacques Cousteau Preserve. It's wide open, and the wildlife is out of control.
So what is the philosophy behind island fly fishing?
So fishing has different flavors for different folks, right? If you're in town for a half-day trip and you want to go drag some bait on the bottom and catch some flounder, that's great. Island fly is different. The way we do it is we make it an adventure every day. It's an experience, okay? We're going to go look for fish, of course, and we're going to catch fish. But for us, it's more of getting out there and seeing what's out there. Brigantine's easy. Off the north end of Brigantine, we have these sandbar islands. You're going to watch sharks chasing rays, right? You're going to see schools of bluefish coming through. You're going to go up in these tidal creeks and these little islands, and you're going to experience the natural world. And that has held true. Fishing for us is, of course, it's about looking for fish, but it's just as much about the experience.
Okay, so when you say you provide an experience, what does that look like? So I call you, I set up my trip.
Yep.
How many people can I bring with me?
It's ideal for 2 people on the boat. Sometimes we can make 3 work, but it's ideal for 2.
Okay, and then what happens once we book?
We talk.
Okay.
Because I really need to understand who you are, where you're coming from, what your experience is, and what you're looking for.
Okay.
It's not for everyone. It's usually, our trips are full days, and we go and we run all over the place. We look for fish, of course, but a big part of that too is checking out the rivers that come into the ocean. It's checking out the sandbar islands. It's looking for wildlife offshore. It's kind of the whole experience rolls into it. So it's not just fishing. We're not setting up and, like I said, soaking bait off the bottom. We're going to keep running around and looking. And
so what time do I have to be up in the morning, and where am I meeting you if we're fishing in Brigantine?
Yeah, it depends on the tides, depends on the moon, depending on what's going on. But we're in the early morning, but we're not at the crack of dawn stuff.
Okay. Now, if I go out fishing with you, am I coming home with dinner? How does this work?
Nope, we are 100% catch and release.
Okay, that's wonderful.
The fisheries are in danger everywhere, and we want to be able to keep fishing.
So this is a sustainable practice.
That's right. Yeah, that's critical to our ethos. We want to make sure that these fish are there tomorrow to catch again.
Okay. All right. So do all fly fishermen operate from that sustainability principle?
I won't speak for all, but the vast majority. Everyone that I know does, yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, every once in a while there are certain locations where it's reasonable to, we go to Colombia, we'll catch maybe a yellowfin tuna because there are so many of them and the population is prolific. So that, in those instances, it's probably okay. But certainly in the U.S., the vast majority that I know are catch and release.
But you do get some really killer photographs.
Always.
right?
Always.
So you can go home. So you can go home with those fish stories. Don't worry about it and say what you caught.
Absolutely.
And you will have photographic proof. And if you're not following them on Instagram, you need to. Where can they find you on Instagram?
It's at islandfly_fishing.
Their account, it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. It makes you want to learn to fly fish just from these photographs.
Thank you.
All right. So if I call you now and I set up my trip, it made me think of what a great adventure this would be for myself and my daughter. We're always looking for fun things to do. She's 15, very responsible kid. She's focused. She would love it. How quickly are we going to get the hang of this?
So it depends on really two things. One, it depends on your past experience with fishing.
Okay. I have 0.
Okay. So that makes it obviously a little bit tougher because it's something brand new.
Okay.
Right. And the second part is the attitude you come into the day with.
Okay.
Right. I do have people that come who have not fly fished before, but are open to the experience. And we spend the majority of the time learning how to fly fish.
Okay. Do I have to tie my own knots?
You do not. I can take care of that for you.
All right. Okay. So it's not intimidating.
No, it shouldn't be.
Okay.
It shouldn't be at all. It's supposed to be fun. It's still fishing at the end of the day, and fishing is supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
And if fishing is not fun, something went wrong somewhere along the way.
Yeah. Not everyone can enjoy those relaxing activities because it's just, you're out on a boat, you're in the middle of what will seem like nowhere. If you haven't explored our back bays in Brigantine, they're gorgeous. We encourage people all the time to take that walk down on the north end if they don't have the pass to drive. They don't even realize that we have this space.
Yep.
It's gorgeous. I can't imagine what it looks like when you're out on the boat. We went out one time with Clam Daddies with Billy, and we got to see the back bays and how you can farm that and get dinner to take home. But this has got to be such an experience.
Yeah, and it's funny because so many people come out with us who are locals and have never experienced that north end and never experienced the waters in between Brigantine and Long Beach Island.
So are we going to find that there's different fish in that stretch of water, or is it pretty much what you're going to get if you're fishing, if you drop your line right in the ocean?
No, there's different fish. Wherever you go, fish like different habitats. And so depending on time of year, water temperature, what's moving and what's not, we certainly find different fish as we travel through.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So what would be your recommendation if someone wanted to book a trip with you in the summer months? When should they contact you, and what's that timeline like for planning?
So there are two distinct groups of folks that book with Island Fly. There are folks that really want to catch arguably the most famous fish in this area, which is the striped bass. Okay. Those folks book more spring and deeper into the fall.
Okay.
And then the summertime crew, really, those are open to whatever. And we catch everything from flounder to cow-nosed rays to sharks to bluefish.
Okay.
So we have a mix. So it really depends on what you're looking for and what time of year you want to go.
Okay. And then once we book with you, how does it look like for gear? I know I wouldn't have waders or even know what to wear. What should we be prepared?
No waders. You bring your personal gear. I can take care of the rest.
All right.
Rods, reels, flies, everything else you can need for fishing, I'll take care of.
Okay.
Everyone should bring a waterproof jacket, a rain jacket, because even if it's not raining, there's spray that's going to hit you just running on the boat. So you take care of your personal gear. I'll take care of the rest of the gear, all the fishing gear, food, drinks, everything else you would need.
Okay. All right. Good to know. Earlier, you brought up Colorado. So is it fair to say that you are known nationally for these trips that you provide for everyone?
No, it is, yeah. I guess we just got back from taking some folks to the Bahamas, and we had folks from as far away as Washington State, the San Francisco Bay Area, Colorado.
Now, do you have to have different licenses in all these different areas that you go to fish?
No. So I am a Coast Guard captain for anyone who guides saltwater has to have a captain's license. Okay. So that covers wherever I go. And then these trips, these international trips we do, you don't have to have a license for each international destination. No?
So tell me about the international trips. I like hearing that you have this PhD and you're well-versed in the medical world. So I know if I go with you into the jungle, I'm in good hands. Right. So the way this evolved, I guess the best way to say it is strong passion for fishing, strong passion for travel and adventure. I'm a PA in emergency medicine. I have a PhD in epidemiology. So medicine's part of my other job. Okay. And then there's a need. If you travel to remote places, which tends to be where the best fishing is. Yeah. If you travel to remote places, something always happens.
Okay, I don't think I've been on a trip where there wasn't something. Usually it's minor, but something always happens. There's a medical need, and it could be as minor as a chipped tooth, or someone hurting their back, to
A chipped tooth.
infections.
Wait, I thought we were just fishing. What happened with the chip?
Well, and,
I guess the rocks are slippery.
You never know. When people are traveling, things always happen. It's kind of one of those things to be prepared for, and that's one of the things that we take great pride in, is preparing our clients for that. So before we go on international trips, we have a private conversation with each guest, their medical needs, their medical conditions, what medications they're on. And we make sure that our gear bags, the packs, are ready for emergencies to suit the client.
Would you say this is what sets you apart in the industry and in planning these trips, is that you have these conversations and everyone can feel this extra sense of security, knowing that they've got a doctor there and someone that can help them?
I hope.
Okay.
I can tell you this, I have not met anyone that does it this way.
Okay.
So we're excited about that. We love being able to offer that service.
It's wonderful. I mean, I have pretty weird allergies, so I have been told that I shouldn't travel internationally. Right. So it looks like Craig will be traveling with Captain J here so that I can stay alive.
Right.
When you do these international trips, are we roughing it? What's going on here? Are we camping? Are we in tents? Are we sleeping in hammocks?
It depends on the trip. So we can accommodate folks that really want to rough it. I just got back from the east coast of Nicaragua, where we were sleeping on a deserted island for a couple of weeks. We also have 5-star lodges that we've partnered with. So I would say our partner base is very strong. So we can accommodate almost anything you need, and almost any kind of water you need. Everything from deep in the Amazon to the Pacific coast of Colombia, we have.
Do you think that your international trips are a better fit for people who have experience with fly fishing?
I think folks that have experience with fly fishing tend to have more fun because their focus is more on the catching the fish than it is learning how to fly fish.
Okay. And do you think your international trips are for those that are used to that kind of travel?
Yeah. The more comfortable you are traveling, the more comfortable you're going to be going on the trip. Now, with that said, I have plenty of people that have not done a lot of international travel, and this is their great adventure, and they have a blast.
Okay. How many people are usually on the international trips?
Between 6 to 8.
Oh, that's a good group.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So this would be something that could even be fun if you're looking for a different way. I know the big thing right now is to plan a bachelor party and everyone's going to Vegas. I think I'd rather go fly fishing.
Yeah. This isn't Vegas.
No. And I enjoy that. So I know off camera you were telling me about a book.
Yes.
And we put a little pressure on you because we really want to read this book. How did the book come about? What are you writing about, and why should we read it?
So the book has a little bit of a story to it.
Okay.
I've been a guide. I guided whitewater rafting. I've guided fishing, obviously. I've guided backcountry skiing. I've guided Jeep tours through Colorado. I've done a whole bunch of guiding. And I've been teaching guides for years, over 2 decades now. Okay. And
when you say teaching guides, so is that like a certification program? Like I can go and get certified to have my CPR?
It's more wilderness medicine lectures. Okay. And I also train river guides on how to row boats, safety on the river, all those kinds of things.
So they're not leaving, there's no certification program, but it's smart to have this education behind you if you're a guide.
Certification programs vary based on where you are and what you're doing. Okay. I provide the medical support to those certifications. Okay. And this really is the book that I always wish I had. Okay. So it's got a unique format. The way I did it was I pulled questions from guides, guests, myself that over the years have come up repeatedly. And it is a question and short answer book on wilderness medicine. And it's called The Why Behind Wilderness Medicine. Okay. So as guides, we're taught what to do. Okay. And you can improvise bandaging, splinting. But what often is lacking is the why. What are the foundational pieces of medicine as to why we're doing what we're doing? And the reason that's important is that allows you to improvise wherever you go. Right? Okay. If you understand the why, you can do almost anything because you understand the reason behind your actions. And that was the start of the book. And I chewed on it for a couple of years and I didn't get around to it. And then last year I kind of said, let's do it. And I kind of sat down and started piecing it together. And it's been fantastic. It's been an amazing experience. So
when you talk about the why, I just want to elaborate on this a minute, make sure I'm understanding it correctly. So if you need to put the tourniquet on, for the most part, the guys were just trained on how to do that, but they weren't understanding why. Right. And why do you need to do this? Right. What's the end game?
Right. It's been one of those, if this, then this. Well, that's great. But if you're somewhere within a short distance to a road where you can get in the United States, especially, you can get an ambulance or a helicopter to help you. A lot of times you don't need to know all of that. When you're traveling, especially to international destinations, when you may be a day or two or more away from help, it is really important to know the why, right? You're going to need plans A, B, and C. You're going to need to be able to improvise no matter where you are.
Yeah, that's huge. That's huge. You should definitely boast a bit more about this skill that you have, because traveling, it's always been something that's kind of scared me. And I want to travel internationally, but I'm like, oh, I don't know. I can't. Do you speak the languages?
I speak Spanish.
Okay.
And then you pick up as you go.
Yeah. Can improvise.
And again, we have really good international partners. So the lodges that we partner with, they provide a lot of that, a lot of the logistical support that we need.
So do they have someone that will go with you that speaks the language?
Absolutely.
When you're on the trips, so that you can navigate that?
And we use their guides, and we stay at their lodge, and they help us with the domestic transfers wherever we end up. So the logistical part of it is handled by our international partners.
What's your favorite spot internationally?
I cannot answer that. We love Nicaragua because it's so remote, so rugged. We also love Argentina. The fish there and the culture in Argentina is amazing.
Okay.
And then if you have to go truly wild, the blue water trips out in the Pacific Ocean off Colombia really are fantastic.
So you say we a lot. So I think it's important that we should talk about who's your right-hand woman here that goes along with
Ashley.
you.
Yep.
And this is great. I love, I get to work with my husband, and it really is special. It can be challenging at times to work with your spouse, but,
especially for her.
Yeah, probably maybe more for Craig. I don't know, but it's also just really cool because you get to explore everything together, and it's great to have a woman represented in this industry.
Oh, and for me, it's great because I have my ideas, and I head off 100 miles an hour, and she's there to
rein you in,
stop me and say, think about it this way. And that different perspective has helped us so much from a business standpoint.
Yeah.
And then now there's a kind of this underground push. It's not even underground anymore. There's this push of more women getting involved in fly fishing. And she has spearheaded that. So she has a fantastic network, and she's the one to talk to. So women that want to go fly fishing, talk to Ashley because she's got it down.
So when we book with you as Island Fly, are we getting both of you?
Depends on what you're looking for.
Okay.
Usually it's one or the other.
Okay.
But women's trips, of course.
Okay.
And other trips, maybe not.
All right. So these bespoke trips that you're planning and curating for your clients and potential clients, how does this tie back to your original philosophy and why you started this company?
So life gets busy. Life gets hard. It gets confusing. When people go fishing, that's their time to check out of their day-to-day, to connect with the natural world and see things and experience things they don't every day. And fishing, yes, it's meant to be fun and all those things, but there's a deeper level to it. And that is something that I believe strongly in. I think that it's really important to be that conduit, to help people get out there and connect with the natural world, with fish, work on skills, learn. And that extends past just the trips. I enjoy being a resource for people as well. I get phone calls all the time with people that are not my clients, who have questions, who have been referred to me from other people. And I love doing it. I love helping people find that connection because they're never the same.
Right.
When I leave people, whether we caught a bunch of fish or no fish, they're never the same.
Well, that is probably what really is starting to set you apart in this worldwide industry. You're creating these adventures, these experiences, and everyone is leaving with a different perspective. You're giving them, you're immersing them in the culture, depending if you're in international waters. You're encouraging and showing people how here locally in Brigantine we can fish sustainably. So it's wonderful.
That's another topic.
So what do you feel that you sort of started that sustainability movement in any area of the world where you fish, or it was just something that you knew when you started planning these hosted trips and experiences that you're like, this is how we're going to do it. This is our approach.
So I certainly didn't start the sustainability and the conservation mindset, but I certainly embrace it, and especially locally. This area has a long culture of catch and kill. I have photos of my dad in the next island south, right? From when he was younger, going back 30 years, with dead striped bass. The part that's missed in that is, from a business standpoint, these fish are worth far more in the water than they are on a plate. Okay, this is the concept. One of the concepts behind the blue economy, right? If you have fish, a lot of fish around, people are going to want to come and fish there, which is better business for guides, for gas stations, for restaurants, for hotels, for bars, for tackle shops. Okay, it's only beneficial to have more fish around. The more fish we take, the more it hurts that economy. So that model is something that is really worth embracing. Okay, and then you get into the other thought of it, which is from the concept of marine biodiversity. We want more fish around. It breeds a healthier ecosystem. Yeah. And so once that happens, it changes not only economies, but the environment around you. So that's one of the things that we focus strongly on. That's one of the things that we make sure that our entire program is, we call it CPR, catch, photo, release. And we make sure that our practices on the boats are solid, meaning fish are not out of the water for more than a few seconds. We use nets when we can to keep them in the water while we take the hooks out. All these things factor in.
Have you seen perspective shift? They come into the trip maybe having one set, thinking like, I want to fish, I want to eat the fish. They belong on our plates. We want to eat them for dinner. And then they leave your trip and they have a totally different viewpoint?
No, because we talk about it before the trip.
Okay, so they know.
So folks that are hell-bent on catch and kill, I will refer them to another local captain and help them out in that way.
Making me feel bad about eating fish. That sounds so terrible. Catch and kill.
No. It's the type of fish. It's how much we do, right?
Yeah,
right now, there's we know that our striped bass population is down exponentially compared to what it was.
Yeah.
Okay, we know that. We don't have to have any math on that. We don't have to, we don't have to guess on that one. So it's important. So fish like that are important to the recreational fishery that people are coming to pay to do. Yeah. Those fish we should preserve. Other fish are not so much in decline. Flounder, we still have plenty of flounder around.
So when you're on a customized hosted trip in international waters, depending, and if you're roughing it, you're sleeping on hammocks and in tents, are you fishing so that you can eat while you're on the trip? Or does the viewpoint change a little bit there, or how does that work? So
the trips where we're camping out, those fish aren't, for the most part, aren't fish that we eat. Every once in a while, we'll keep a barracuda or something like that. But generally speaking, the fish we're looking for there aren't edible fish. So that's not really a conversation we have to worry about. And then other places, it depends. I mentioned Colombia with the tuna. We fish for yellowfin tuna down there. So there, it is really up to the local customs. We abide by local customs. We can't walk in and, and push our way. So we wait and hear from them, and they help guide that for us. Okay. So if someone is going to, these international trips are just fascinating to me. How much planning is involved with these hosted adventures? A lot. So our hosted trips, we take great pride in. And the pride we take is a lot of it's on the front end. So at least right around 3 months of pretty regular phone conversations. We'll do Zoom calls with folks to make sure that, everything from the gear they need, we help them get that, to, as earlier we talked about the medical needs of the trip. We make sure we address that early on. We help with travel logistics. And the biggest thing we do is provide education and manage expectations. So travel logistics, are you all traveling together? Are you providing them with your fee? Is airfare included, or is that the responsibility of the individual? That's the responsibility of the individual. But we do tell them where to be by when. And we also help with plans A, B, and C, because as we know, travel can be challenging, and we want to make sure people get there for the trip. So that whole conversation, and it varies based on the person, right? Some people, as mentioned, our trip to the Bahamas we just did, we had folks coming from as far away as Washington State and as close by as northern New Jersey. So it's different for everyone. It's different for every trip. We just help manage the logistics for people to make those important decisions, and we help them pick the right flights, and we help coordinate the logistics for them. So the trip that you just did in the Bahamas, people were coming from different areas. Did they know each other, or did they meet once they got with you? No, 4 people there were 9 people total. 4 knew each other, and the other ones were kind of 1 or 2 off. There was a couple and those kind of things. So no, not necessarily. And does that always work out to be magical, or is it sometimes, are you curating the people with the right fit? Like, do you feel like you're
You're scheduling people appropriately?
That's the magic. That's
Okay.
the magic. So, from doing this and from traveling and from meeting people and, giving talks at fly fishing shows and all this stuff, we have a pretty strong network of folks we know who have similar mindsets and who really want to do it. It's part of it is us bringing these people together. And that is a huge part of these trips. When people leave, they have friends for life. And they end up going either fishing with us or off on their own. And so a great story is we had mentioned Ashley earlier, right? When she first started, she has these fishing trips that are just with her ladies. And it has blossomed into this huge group of 20 women, and they talk every week and they go fishing together all over the place. And so that connection, we had mentioned the connection with the fish and the environment and the adventure and the people. That's the other
you're
part
weaving this tapestry just all over the world. It's great.
And it's a super cool thing to come home and after this is all finished and people go their separate ways to hear that they're still talking. They're planning fishing trips with each other.
You need to have an Island Fly reunion and have everyone all together. Just have a big old party.
No, it's the best part of it. It is. The fish pics are great, but the connections and the longer lasting parts of it are way better.
All right. So if you're listening to this or watching us and you're ready to plan your custom trip, we know that you told us already that they're going to call you. They're going to talk with you. Is there an onboarding process on your website? What's the easiest way to get a hold of you?
The only way to do it is to call me and we'll talk it through.
Okay.
And that because each trip we do is custom.
Okay.
So people ask what's the program look like. And I can give you a vague idea of, if we're around Brigantine fishing, where we're going to go, what we're going to do, what we're going to look for. But every trip is different. And so it always starts with a phone call. So I can make sure that what we're putting together is right for you.
Are we going to find your contact information easy on your website?
Easily. It's right there.
What's your website?
It's www.islandfly.net.
Okay, perfect. Once they reach out to you and they call you and they say, hey, we're ready. We want to plan this. What's your response rate? What should they expect? How long should they wait before they hear from you to start planning?
It'll be within a day.
Okay.
For sure.
All right.
If not
Perfect.
immediately.
So when you're not fishing the waters, what's your day-to-day like? What are you doing?
Well, lately it's been writing the book.
Okay.
And going through the whole process of editing a book, which was new to me. So
This is your first time publishing?
A book. I've published research for medical journals, but this is my first time doing a book. And so it's a very unique process and it's taken up a lot of time. Super cool. I love it. But it's been a process.
Are you a handwriter or are you a typer?
I'm a typer. I don't get to handwrite so much.
Okay.
I try to handwrite when I edit, but the publisher keeps sending it back. It needs to be typed.
Are you good at typing or are you one finger?
No, I'm okay.
Okay. All right. Do you have yourself on a very strict writing schedule or are you more just when it comes to you, it comes to you? What does that look like for you?
It's funny. Over the last year, it was a lot of when it came to me, it came to me. But now working with a publisher, there are deadlines, so I don't have that luxury.
Yeah.
So I'll find myself, in sweatpants for a day and a half.
Do you find that hard though? Are you getting to places where you're like, I just can't write anything right now?
Very hard.
And how do you push past that?
I look at the end result. I look at the big picture of where this is going, and then that motivates me to get back into it. But it certainly can become very challenging, especially in this format, this question, short answer, because each one of those has to stand alone, right? So I have to work through the flow as it goes through the book. So it's a challenge, but it's super cool, super fun.
All right. Well, we are really looking forward to see it. Have you picked the cover art yet?
We have cover. Yep.
Okay.
We finished the cover.
All right. That's exciting.
Yep.
It's getting real.
It's getting real.
How many pages?
Oh, I don't know yet. They're gonna let me know. Somewhere in that 200.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. 200.
So is this something that you hope to see guides have packed in their backpack and it's going to function for them as a good resource that when they're out in the field, or something more that they should sort of study up on before they
I think both. I think it has a lot of applicability, right? It's easy to read.
Okay.
Because it's question and short answer.
Okay.
So I think it's, certain trips people go on, it's probably good to throw in the bag.
Yeah.
But it certainly is going to be good at, say, fly fishing lodges or to have at home.
Okay. And where will people be able to find this book?
It's going to be, hard copies are going to be in Barnes & Noble.
All right.
And Amazon, of course.
Okay.
And then wherever else they tell me it's going.
So if you had to describe your style when it comes to being a guide, would you say that you're very rigid, or is it a little bit more fluid and we're kind of laughing and having fun as we go?
It's definitely more fluid.
Okay.
Because going back, if fishing's not fun, then we're doing something wrong. And I know there are guides out there that are pretty hard on clients. And if your guide is telling you you have to make an 80-foot cast to catch a fish, that's not on the client. That's actually on the guide.
I don't even know what that means.
Right. So like guides need to, in my opinion, guides need to do a better job of remembering about the experience that they're fostering. Okay.
Yes.
And it's not just about catching that fish, right? The clients are coming from day-to-day life, which can be really hard. And the chance to take somebody out and connect them with the natural world, with fish, with other people, that's really a gift. And guides should really appreciate that as well. So I think it's it's kind of an honor to be able to do it. I consider myself super lucky to be able to be a guide and take people out fishing, and it's special.
And some people can decompress as soon as they clock out. They can just work stays at work, and other people, it might take you, 3 days into that trip to be like, okay, I'm on vacation. And the next thing you know, it's over. And I will say just my experiences that I've had with you and with Ashley, as soon as you walk into your space, especially your home, it's just like, you just kind of breathe a little lighter, your shoulders, you just relax. So I would say, go get on his website, make that call, book this trip, create your custom adventure. You will not regret it. This is going to be a trip to remember. And my Brigantine friends, if you're local, they've got to see our back bays. If you have not seen them, you need to do this. Treat yourself. Get on the phone now. Schedule your trip before the summer is completely booked out, because I know you book quick.
We do.
And a lot of times Mother Nature plays a big role in this. We tried to go out several times last summer just to film and get content, and every time Mother Nature was not with us.
Yep.
So start planning now. And with that, if you do book a trip for a weekend, and then let's just say, we'll get, hurricane, which we had happen.
That's right.
The ocean was not friendly. What do you do?
So we have a unique kind of philosophy on this. We do not take deposits, because I figure if you're going to cancel, you're canceling on your own adventure.
Yeah.
And so we're going to reschedule. And if the weather gets in the way that we have to reschedule, you get priority for the schedule moving forward. So if we have to cancel your trip, we'll get together, we'll talk, we'll find a time, and we'll make it work for you.
Okay.
That's
and then when
easy.
it comes to scheduling, if it's a family situation, is there an age limit where you require a parent to be with them? Like, it's not something where I could be like, hey, I signed up my 2 15-year-old twins. Here you go. Take them fishing.
Nope. You have to have at least one adult over the age of 18 on the boat.
Okay. All right. And what kind of boat are we going on when we go locally here in Brigantine?
Yep. We have a 22-foot panga. And the pangas are the boats that are used often in Mexico and Central America.
Okay.
Very sturdy, very safe boats, but also have a large casting platform up front, so folks have plenty of room to cast and catch fish.
If you're someone who doesn't do well on the water and maybe has a tendency to get a little seasick, are they going to experience that where you're taking them here in Brigantine?
Generally not, because we're always in sight of land, and more often than not, we're in the backcountry of Brigantine. So the tidal creeks, the flats, and we also get out of the boat quite a bit. So for those that don't like boats at all, I question about the fishing part, but if you don't like boats at all, we still have plenty of opportunity for you to get your feet on the sand.
Okay. So when they're getting out of the boat, how high is the water? How deep?
Oh, it depends where we are, but we make sure that no one's getting in trouble. So we make sure the water's shallow when they get out of the boat. It's not going to be deeper than probably shin deep.
Okay. Are we packing food? Are we having lunch out there? How long are we out?
We will take care of that for you.
Oh, all right. So do we just supply you with our favorite meals, or do you surprise us?
Well, we talk about it.
Okay.
We talk about it, but we take care of it.
So you have everything covered. Do I have to bring a water?
You do not have to bring water. You don't have to bring anything except for,
like
I said, your personal gear and a good attitude. We'll take care of the rest.
So as far as investment, what should people be prepared to invest in an adventure like this, locally in Brigantine versus international waters?
Like how much we charge for these?
Yeah, what should we prepare?
So for your local trips, your half-day trips are around $450, and then the full-day trips are around $700. Okay. And then international trips, depending where we go. So that there's a range on those. They're usually for about a week, and they range anywhere from $6,000 to $8,000 for the week.
Fantastic. I think that's very fair.
We try to make it doable for everyone.
Yeah. So when you say you don't take deposits for locally, should we come prepared that day to pay our bill before we go off?
Yep. And we'll do Venmo, credit card, cash, whatever you need to do.
All right, well, thank you very much, Captain Jay, for having me in your home. It was my pleasure, and I am very excited to see this brand new book come out for you.
Thanks for coming, Kelly.
You're welcome.
See ya.